All right, all right. We are back. This is Trevina Jefferson with Jefferson Operations and HR Consulting, where we focus on fractional executive support to build capacity for purpose-driven businesses so that they can do more and also give them the confidence to rest. And today we have a special guest, Lenore from Lenore Coaching. And as you know, we like to talk with businesses in the community. He's a little farther out in Richmond, so that's close to the capital of Virginia, that are purpose driven and do have leaders of integrity that have something to share and expand that service. So first off, Michelle, could you introduce yourself a little bit and what you do?
Absolutely. Well, first off, Trevina, I really appreciate the opportunity that you've given me. I appreciate the work that you do, having this sort of platform to serve folks that are trying to serve others. And so your mission is very much appreciated and important. So I really appreciate the work that you do. So yeah, my name's Quintrel. Folks call me Q. I live in Richmond. The heart of what I do, I like to tell folks I'm a career coach by trade. I've spent the last 10, 12 years working in education, higher ed, and workforce development. And so along my career, just working in institutions and organizations, I've gained this skill of how do I get people from point A to point B? So with Lenore Coaching, we found the organization about 4 years ago, and it came from a place of, we were working with students and essentially like the folks that are in our church community and our friend circle, family members started asking about career help because they knew the work that we did with students and young adults. And I thought the work that we did on college campuses were exclusive to that population, but it really wasn't. And so that's where we started Lenore Coaching, just providing career coaching focus on like resumes, cover letter, interview preparation, and then career changing and job search strategy. Because what ends up happening for a lot of adults, they get stuck in their careers, they want to pivot, and it's an overwhelming process. So that was like the foundation of Lenore Coaching. But along the way, we ourselves have pivoted. We are still a small pup in this world of workforce development. But essentially what we do is partner with organizations to provide career readiness and workforce development programming for youth. And we provide professional development for us as educators, leaders, and workforce development. So in a nutshell, that's like the foundation of what we're doing in 2023, 2024 with Lenore Coaching.
All right. Now, I think it was something pretty interesting that I saw is that you now have 2 books with a very similar focus as being purpose driven. The first one, and I think when I met you last year, is the one that you had, purpose driven work. So can you tell me a little bit about what brought this book about? Why did you write it? And how does that help you in the work that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's a picture of it here, purpose-driven work. So I think 2 authors motivated this book in the first place. One is a gentleman by the name of Vad Lee. He wrote a book called Purpose Over Position. And so Vad is a former student athlete, really great athletic and great human being. And he was younger than myself. And, when I saw another Black man sort of putting his story on paper, it just motivated me. And so he was one of the primary motivators. And then a second person, there's a venture capitalist by the name of Arlen Hamilton, and she works with a lot of Black and brown or startup organizations. And she wrote a book. And the reason why she wrote the book was a lot of sort of people a lot of people gravitated to her to be a mentor. And I realized like a lot of folks, for myself, even though I'm a small pup, I get a lot of questions, a lot of inquiries, a lot of folks that need career support. And a lot of the common challenges, no matter if they're trying to change careers, no matter if they're job searching or they need resume help, is really this similar pain point, which is like, I don't know my purpose. Like, if you go deeper underneath the surface of somebody feeling stuck in their careers, maybe they're not recognized for their performance at the day job, or maybe the work is at a dead end where they can't provide for their families from a financial standpoint, or they're trying to do something new that aligns with their interests or their skills, underneath the surface, the pain point is still purpose, right? And so I think God has wired us to be purpose-driven individuals. And so the heart of the book, Purpose-Driven Work, is how do we align purpose with our dreams, our callings, and our careers. And so that's where the book came from. It was motivated by those two people in personally. And I really use my career development background in a very practical sense, where I'm talking about some theory. I'm talking about career, work values, work interests, work skills. But I use my own story. It's very narrative driven in order to unpack it. And then underneath of it, I am using biblical principles. So that's kind of the heart behind purpose-driven work.
And what group or population do you think like this book is really good for? Like when you talked about doing youth as well. So are all youth that you work with able to grasp the concepts in your book?
Yeah, this is a really cool book. The reason why is I think in the back of my mind, subconsciously, I was thinking about adults. Honestly, I was thinking about the person that has been working, like a mom or dad that's been serving their family for 10, 15, 20 years. But before they had children, they had these big dreams of going to New York or Los Angeles, starting this cool business. And then life hits them. And so I see a lot of us as adults get stuck in our dreams. You know, when I think about my parents, when I think about family members or folks that I just see in life, you know, a lot of ways they carry this huge burden, but they're not able to like live the fullness of their dreams, like the things that God put on their hearts. So I say that to say, like, I wrote it for grown folks like us, but I think naturally my writing style is simplistic, is straightforward. So I do think that like a young adult, like high schoolers, can really benefit strongly from this book. I think it's meant for anybody that is in a mindset of transition. Like, I don't know what to do, or I want something more with my life. I think the book is easy to read for an older person and a younger person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think even when we work together with our group, they're 18 to 24. So they're adults, but they're still in that area trying to figure out, hey, what do I want to do with my life? A lot of them are in that question phase. And so, you know, you have there's that group, you have older people, like you said, they transition. So it just fits a lot of different models. So I'm wondering, after you wrote that, this wasn't that much longer after. And how long did it take you to write a book, by the way? Because you're just popping them out now.
I know, right? So I really encourage everybody to write books, because one is, I think it's cathartic. And then for us as professionals that are not full-time yet in our businesses, it gives you a sense of confidence. Like, dang, I know what the heck I'm doing. Like, I have a lot of value in my toolkit, but it does not take a long time. Purpose-driven work, this book right here, I sat down 8 to 10 times, and those sessions were about anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours. So I am very disciplined as a person, but I just give that as context. This is not like rocket science. You just sit down and you give yourself a time frame just to write. You could easily pop out a book. And I'll land it with this. So Jerry Seinfeld, I like watching Seinfeld, but he said something in an interview that will stick with me. Like, he's jokes every single day. Like, obviously he has his show. He's done stand-up comedy for years. But if you just zoom out, like, he's still writing every single day. And a lot of his content, he said, is not good at all. But he's gotten to the habit of just writing as a discipline. And that's what allows him to put out, you know, volumes of episodes and do stand-up. So I think that stuck with me personally, because just getting in the rhythm of writing, it might not be something that you publish, and that's okay. But eventually you will have a volume of work that's going to be on display that you can publish.
Yeah, I'm kind of just reflecting about myself on that. Because over the last 20 years, I've probably written about 40 books, summer series, but I haven't published any of them until here recently. This one's about to be published next week, but that was put on my heart earlier, maybe in September this year. And it's not really one, I think, coming from me, it's more coming from God. And so I think that one was the one that was able to push past, a lot faster. Was like, look, you need to stop playing around. So
I love that.
so tell me about the second book. It's purpose-driven coaching. So what drove you to write this book?
Yeah. So here's a copy of the book, Purpose Driven Coaching. So I think the spirit of the first book, Purpose Driven Work, was me as a practitioner trying to actually help somebody. Like I'm hoping that my voice is like almost a coach as somebody reads that book. But the spirit of this book is me coaching coaches. I feel strongly that the work that I'm trying to do is meant to be done on scale. Like no matter if you're a career coach or you work as a salesperson or you're a firefighter or you are an IT person, I think all of us have a platform to do coaching in the work that we do. If you ask somebody why they do the work that they do, I would bet you 9 times out of 10 is they'll say like, I want to help people. So you can ask an IT person that, and you would think like, oh, they love computers. I bet they'd say, I just want to help people. So I think God has wired us to be service driven. And so for me, I see value in helping people have coaching skills. And so not everybody needs help specifically like finding a new job, but I do think we need help in performing better in the work that we do. I do think we need help in having confidence in the work that we do. I do think like no matter how technical savvy you are, you might need to grow as a leader. And so the spirit of this is I'm trying to coach other coaches. I want them to have a skill set of using coaching as an educator, as a leader, and a workforce development professional. And so that's kind of the lens that I wrote that book through.
Wow. And I'm not sure if you're still doing the service. I read it somewhere, could have been on Facebook. But I think at one point you were also able to mail some of these books with like, a little autograph or something in there. Is that something you're still doing, or that's a done deal?
Yeah, absolutely. So folks can go to my website or my link tree on social media. Like obviously you can buy the book through Amazon. It's published, it's self-published, but I also have an option to purchase it through me. And so I do give signed copies. Like I'm looking at a box of books right now next to me. So if you want to buy a copy for myself, whether it be purpose-driven work or coaching, I would love to send one to you. It'll be signed, handwritten from myself to you. So that is something I'm doing for sure.
Okay. Very, very, very cool. And I was like, oh, maybe that's just temporary because I saw you in a video mailing them off.
Yeah, they're out here.
You never know. It's like, does he still have time to do that? Well, very good. So what leading into 2024, we're wrapping this up. Me, myself, I'm starting to put a board out, mapping out each month, like just what are my major goals? What do I want to do? And I'm wondering what's kind of next for you in 2024?
Yeah. So the primary business that I have through Lenore Coaching is my program for career readiness and workforce development, which is focused on youth. And so right now, and so the name of that program is called Momentum. I like the name of it is because like if you just think about momentum scientifically, is mass times velocity. So a lot of young people, they're stuck. They need a nudge, right? So they need information, strategy, they need coaching. So the heart of momentum is giving them the practical skills and know-how to go from point A to point B and to continue to replicate that in the future. So anyways, the primary way that I sustain my business is through our momentum program, where we partner with small businesses, educational institution, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies. Our biggest partnership has been with the city of Richmond. I'm here in Richmond, and we work with the Mayor's Youth Academy. And so Dr. Lerone Joseph, he's been a really great support for us at Lenore Coaching. And with Momentum, I'm in the process of making that its own standalone organization. So I want to turn that into a nonprofit organization, because what I've learned in this space of programming, schools, schools are doing this. State governments, local governments are doing this. Yet they don't necessarily have the full either capacity with staffing to do this work in a good way. They don't have the budgets to have a sustainable program. They don't have the skill sets to do it. So with Momentum, I've learned that like as a LLC, it's hard to create the financial opportunity to do so. But I did realize that there's a lot of public funding that, you know, the US government and local government and state governments have in order to do workforce development. So we want to create this as a nonprofit so that we can easily partner with the folks that need this type of work. So we want to go to low income communities to help Black and brown young people to go from point A to point B. We want to partner directly with our school systems who, even though our schools might have an outdated model at times, they're not going nowhere. So rather than throw out the baby in the bathwater, we actually have to make the baby better, right? So we're going to bring momentum to our schools. So that's what we're in the process of doing in 2024, is making its own nonprofit so that we can adequately serve the organizations that are not going anywhere in the best way possible.
Wow, that's quite a mission. Yeah, and having helped people, found their nonprofits, founded my own, I understand like that pathway. And there's definitely some resources that sometimes people can't pay for, but the government can help support those efforts. And they know that that the need is there. Well, that's been good. How can people reach you? You might have said this already, but I just want to, since we're wrapping up in the end, how can people reach you to learn more, to connect with you, to partner with you? How can that be done?
Absolutely. So a couple things. If you go to my website, lenorecoaching.com, I think that's a good way to get a 10,000-foot view. What I also on our website, we have a Catalyst course, and that course is free. Like I've put a lot of sweat equity into it, and it's meant to help those that are stuck in their careers to produce results in a job search. But it's also meant to help folks like you and I who may be in a coaching capacity that needs to help other people. So that's a really great tool in order to help other folks. So go to my website, lenorecoaching.com, download the Catalyst course. It's free. It's 5 hours of content. We've built out resumes. We've built out assessments. We've built out job search strategy, interview preparation materials. There's a lot of stuff. Whenever I partner with an organization to train their staff, I'm using our Catalyst course as the resource. So I want that to be free for our tribe of folks to serve. Another way they can reach out is through social media. I'm really active. I say really active. I guess I'm somewhat active on an average basis on LinkedIn. So my name is Quintrel Lenore, QuintrelLenore. And then Instagram is my alter ego, if you will. It sounds weird, but I love other things outside of career development. So I'm an artist. I love recording. So Instagram is like a place where you can connect with me. It's called Career Quintrel is my handle. But it might seem a little weird. You're going to hear a career coach and a rapper and a thought leader and a father and a husband and a Christian.
It's funny. I thought I saw you with a hood on. I was like, wait, is it a different person? No, it looks just like you.
That's me. That's me. So I'm giving myself some freedom to be weird out here. So Career Quintrel, you can connect with there. Shoot me an email. Like I want to connect in terms of business development opportunities or questions at info@lenorecoaching.com. And then obviously I'll say my website one more time, lenorecoaching.com. So those are ways you can connect with me.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for our Monday lunch. I think this is really good information where it's more than local. So I know it's statewide, but it also can cross over to other states, for assistance as well. So we just really appreciate you taking the time to tell us about what you do, the purpose, in what you do and how it's been able to help others.
No, thank you for the opportunity. And I appreciate you doing the work that you do. So keep it on. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for our Monday lunch. It was really great talking with Quintrel of Lenore Coaching. He had so many great insights to give us. And if you believe you are a purpose-driven business operated by leaders of integrity, we want to hear from you. Please drop us a DM, purpose-driven, and we will follow up with you and talk about how to get engaged and have you on. Have a great Monday.